Hi, my name is Erica Johnson, and I'm a graduate student at the University of Toledo studying speech and language pathology. I'm making this video today to raise parent awareness about the importance of literacy and reading to your children from a young age because that can really help facilitate their language development. I have Mr. Squires in here today to act as a father so I can show you some hands-on examples of ways that you can read with your children to make it more engaging and more beneficial to them. Okay, let's get started.
All right.
Mr. Squires, thanks for coming in
It's
to
good
talk
to
to
be
me
here.
today. I wanted to talk to you about the importance of early literacy and that connection to a child's language development. Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, but it'd be nice to hear a little more.
Okay, recently the National Literacy Trust has come out with some research that suggests parents are the most important factor in their child's ability to develop language.
Mhm.
And this is done through pre-literacy and literacy skills. Now, you can develop these literacy skills by reading aloud to your children.
Okay.
Okay? And reading is so important, and a lot of research has been done to determine just how important. They're currently saying that reading to a child can determine his or her academic performance through the 7th grade and beyond.
Wow.
Yeah, so what you're doing with a 2-year-old can impact them more than 10 years later.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just a really important thing to, incorporate into your daily schedule.
Definitely.
And remember that you are your child's first teacher, and so you want to do all that you can to really build a solid foundation for your child.
All right, that makes sense.
There are 2 common questions that I hear parents ask when it comes to reading. The first of those is, how early is it appropriate to get started with reading aloud? And my answer as a speech and language pathology student would be, it's never too early to get started.
All right.
Whenever you feel ready to start reading aloud to your child, jump on it, because research is showing that the earlier you get started, the more advanced language skills will be.
Okay.
So there is no, you should start by this age if you want typical language to be developed. Just start as early as you can.
Makes sense.
Okay, and another common question is, how often should we be reading aloud at home? My answer again to that would be as much as possible, but I understand you probably have a busy schedule.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just to try to incorporate it into your daily routine, whether that be, before you put your kids to bed, or maybe
Right.
at the breakfast table if the mornings are more calm for you, just to make it a consistent habit.
Okay, yeah. I can do
Okay?
that.
Perfect. Now, the final area a lot of parents feel unsure about is picking a book. It seems really simple, and then you get to the bookstore and you see hundreds of children's books. There's so much great literature out there for children, but it can become overwhelming. So my advice would be to focus on choosing a simple book. A lot of times people think that books with a lot of colors and words are the best, and this isn't necessarily true. It can be true, but what's most important is to find a book that has some good concrete language in it.
Mhm.
A book that uses rhyme is great. A book that's highly repeatable, so it has a repeated line or phrase throughout the book.
Okay.
This will allow the child to make a connection and anticipate that event coming back up.
Mhm.
And then also a book where you can have the child predict and hope to build those skills as you read. So I would say rhyming, repeatability, and predictability are all good features for a book when you're looking.
All right.
Okay, not all the bells and whistles. That's cool and that can be good, but that's not what you should be looking for.
All right, I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
Okay, awesome. Now to get started on the how. So we talked about why it's so important to develop these literacy skills with your children, but you're probably wondering, okay, but how specifically can I do this best?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very typical, and there are so many techniques that you can use, but today I want to just highlight a few of my personal favorites that I think are super easy to incorporate into your pre-existing reading.
Mhm.
We're going to look at the book If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Numeroff.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
and the first technique I want to talk about is a technique called echo reading. For echo reading, it is best to pick a book that only has a line or two of text per page. So if you can see here, there aren't very many words on this page. This would be a good book because you're going to ask the child to repeat after you as you read.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you a little example. Can you copy me?
Yeah. Yes.
If you give a moose a muffin.
If you give a moose a muffin.
Nice. He'll want some jam to go with it.
He'll want some jam to go with it.
So you'll bring out some of your mother's
So you'll bring out your mother's
homemade blackberry jam.
homemade blackberry jam. Okay, before we go on, I purposely left out some words and messed up to try to see if there was something different that you did if your child messes up, and you didn't do anything differently. Why is that?
That is a great question. So if we can show the book here, this page has a few more words, but I did ask my child to repeat those words for me. In this task, if the child misses a word or mispronounces a word, it's acceptable just to move on. In this task, we're trying to get the child to participate and not focus on perfection.
Okay.
We just
that
want the
makes
child
sense.
to enjoy reading and feel involved in the process, and this is a great technique to do that.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Another technique that I wanted to show you was a prediction strategy technique.
Mhm.
So we'll continue reading, and I'm going to stop with a question.
Alrighty.
It says, when he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, this would be a great time to close the book and ask your child a question like, now, what do you think is going to happen next?
Well, it's chilly outside. He might want a coat.
Perfect. In the book, he wants a sweater.
Ah,
But that's a really good technique to get your child to kind of think about the story and cause effect. So that's a great technique there. And if your child is having struggling coming up with the answer, it's a great way to just ask him or her, what might you want if you're going outside and it's chilly?
okay.
That way you can connect what's going on with the reading with things that they have experienced.
Alright, yeah, I understand.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad I was able to show a few good reading techniques to encourage literacy in young children. Most importantly, I want parents to know that reading with children should be stress-free and enjoyable for both you and your child. I hope the techniques learned today using the book can help you enhance your child's literacy skills and consequently enhance their language skills as they develop and grow. Thanks.